My one question is, was this a Taken movie or a Rambo movie? What is going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel, and this is my review of Rambo Last Blood. This movie was directed by Adrian Grunberg, and it stars Sylvester Stallone as John Rambo. This takes place 11 years after the events of Rambo 2008, where John Rambo has a family. He has a niece that he cares about almost like a daughter, and she ends up going missing in Mexico. He goes and tracks her down, and when terrible consequences happen to her that impact him, he ends up taking revenge on her captors. This movie is not great. By not great, I mean some of the acting in this film is pretty bad. The actress who played Rambo's niece, Danielle, she did not do a good job. She tries emoting certain feelings in this film, especially in the first act, where she does a lot of her heavy dialogue sequences and scenes. She doesn't deliver on a real and relatable note. She's very flat the way she delivers lines. It doesn't feel like there's actual emotion there, and her character almost seems kind of one way the entire film because of her problem with emoting feelings. Sure, she can cry or have tears roll down her face on command, but that doesn't make you a good emotional actress. And unfortunately, she did not do a good job for me in this film. Another problem with this movie, this is a very small little thing, but it's a technical detail that I absolutely was appalled by. There is one character in this film, every single line of dialogue, his post-audio is not synchronized with his actual facial movements. So literally, you will get something that looks like this. His mouth will move, and it will just be like a slight, like, millisecond off from what he's supposed to actually be saying, but it doesn't look natural. It looks very weird and just not smooth. And that's one of my biggest problems is every time this character is on screen, every single line of dialogue is like this, and it really bothered me. Granted, it's not a major character in any way, but it's still one of those technical things that I feel like they should have perfected or should have looked more into to try to get that right. And I understand that there's, a lot of post when it comes to audio work, but man, was this bad. It looked like some type of martial arts film, and I hated it. Absolutely hated it. Some of the shot compositions are very weird. They make some very weird shot selections throughout this film that really kind of deteriorate from the actual stakes of the film or the actual action sequences. We get to see a lot of action, which is great, but at the same time, I want the shots to feel natural, more composed, more thought after, and I felt like they were just kind of throwing stuff together like, oh, we need an establishing shot here because every movie has an establishing shot, or we need a wide-angle shot because every movie has a wide-angle shot. And when you're doing that and doing it very inconsistently to the point where the film just looks miscombobulated, it really throws me off as a viewer who looks at the technical aspects of filmmaking. I couldn't get dialed in with certain shot selections that they made. It was very weird, and it almost seemed like poor choicing. The good in this movie, there's a lot of action, which is a lot of fun, a lot of violence, which is really good. It's very visceral, not as visceral as Rambo 2008. They go for a more emotional-driven film, and it doesn't really work that well. I never truly felt raw or real emotions from any of these characters. And honestly, this is a movie that I had a good time because it's Rambo doing his business, killing people, and it has a really awesome ending. But it's one of those movies that I don't think is one of the better sequels. I think this is probably in the middle for me, to be quite honest. I really do like this film. I definitely want to go back and watch it again, but I feel like the first and second acts, when they're trying to kind of develop Rambo as more of a emotional character, I feel like Sylvester Stallone doesn't do a good job of portraying emotion on screen with this character. Anyway, guys, that's my review of Rambo Last Blood. What did you think down below in the comment section of this video? I think you should go watch it in theaters, especially if you're a big fan of the Rambo franchise. I think there's a lot to like in this film. Make sure you guys drop a like on the video, subscribe to my channel for more content just like this. And as always, I'll see you guys in my next video. Goodbye.